Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about money. It's this huge part of our daily lives, right? Something we use and think about constantly. But let's be honest, it can also feel really complicated, maybe even a little stressful. So in this explainer, we're going to strip all of that away and just get back to the simple basics. The goal here is for you to walk away feeling a little more confident and a bit more in control. So let's jump right in. So let's start with the most basic question of all. When you get rid of all the noise, the banks, the stock markets, the economy, what are we actually talking about when we use the word money? What is it, really? All right, so in this first part, we're going to break down exactly what money is and what simple but super important job it does for all of us every single day. When you boil it all down, money is just a tool. That's it. Think of it like a big agreement we all have with each other. An agreement that this piece of paper or these numbers on a screen actually have value. And this simple tool makes getting the things we need, like food or a roof over our heads, way easier than it used to be. And you can see just how that tool has changed over time. I mean, way back when, you'd have to literally trade stuff. I'll give you some of my eggs for a loaf of your bread. Then we got coins and paper money, which made things a whole lot easier. And now? Well, for a lot of us, money is just something we do with the tap of a card or our phone. The way it looks has changed completely, but its job? Exactly the same. Okay, so that's what money is. The next natural question is, well, how do we get it? So in this next part, let's explore all the different ways that money flows into our lives.
For most of us, money comes from work. You might work for a company and get a regular salary, or maybe you work for yourself, you're self-employed. You could have a part-time job or sell things you make or even just sell some old stuff you don't need anymore. And of course, money can also come into our lives as a gift or as support from the government for people who need it.
I love how this just simplifies the whole thing. Just picture someone selling fruit at a market. They have a product, the fruit. They sell it to a customer who wants that fruit. And the money they get back? That's their income. It's the exact same idea whether you're selling fruit, writing computer code, or driving a bus. So once you have money, you're constantly faced with a choice, a really big one. Do I use this money now, or do I save it for later? And that right there is really the heart of managing your money, figuring out that balance between spending and saving. And here is probably the most powerful first step you can take, learning the difference between needs and wants. Needs are the absolute must-haves for living, things like food, a safe place to live, water. Wants are the things that are nice to have, but you could survive without them. Just getting this difference clear in your head is a total game changer. So how do you manage all those choices? With a budget. Now listen, the word budget can sound kind of scary or restrictive, but it's not. It's just a plan. Seriously, think of it like a map for your money. It just gives you a clear picture of what's coming in and what's going out. It puts you in the driver's seat. Because really, at the end of the day, it's all about finding that balance. A healthy financial life isn't about never spending money on fun things. It's just about taking care of your needs today while also putting a little something away for the person you're going to be tomorrow. But of course, we have to be real. For so many people, money isn't just about making choices. It's a source of real, serious difficulty. And it's so important that we acknowledge that financial struggles are a reality for millions. Sometimes the problem has nothing to do with personal choices at all. It's about these bigger economic forces that are way outside of our control. Imagine someone who's worked hard their entire life, but all of a sudden, the company they work for has to close down. They lose their job. And just like that, through no fault of their own, their income is gone. This kind of thing, widespread job loss, often happens during something called a recession. It's basically a time when the whole country's economy is going through a really rough patch. Businesses aren't doing so well, so a lot of people might lose their jobs, and that makes everyone else spend less money too. And it's so important to remember that connection. Those huge economic things we hear about on the news, well, they create very real, very personal challenges for individuals and families who are just trying to get by. Now, for a lot of people, one of the biggest challenges that comes up is debt. And debt is simply money that you owe someone else. It could be from a big planned thing like a mortgage to buy a house, or it could be something that just builds up slowly over time like on a credit card. The hard part is that if you can't pay it back, debt can grow and start to feel like a really heavy weight. And we have to talk about the emotional side of all this. The stress of worrying about money is so real. It can affect your mood, your sleep, your relationships, everything. If you have ever felt this way, please know you are not alone. It's a completely real and understandable feeling. Okay, so knowing all those challenges, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about some simple, practical things that anybody can do to feel a little more in control of their money, no matter what their situation is.
It all starts with the basics. First, create that simple plan, a budget, just so you can see where your money is going. Then, before you buy something, just take a pause and ask yourself, is this a true need or is it a want? Try to save, even if it feels like a tiny amount. It all adds up and helps build a great habit. And maybe most importantly, remember that it is always okay to ask for help. Always. And that brings us right back around to where we started. Money isn't a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a tool. It's a tool that can be used to build a life that feels safe and secure, to take care of the people you love, and to go after your goals. Understanding it is the first step. The next is deciding what you want to build.